Top 10 worst moments of 2019. Join with me is Cubs on Hot. What do you think about the top 10 moments of 2019? Or what do you think about this idea of a video, right?
Well, I love it, especially because I made a video today. I was like, I'm being more positive this year, guys. And now we're talking about the worst.
Did you really make a video about being more positive? All right.
Well, I mean, I think I got overly negative in 2019. Like, now there was a lot to be negative about, and while you and me were talking about this, we're like listing off probably 100 things, and we had to narrow down our list. So.
But at the end of the day, if they don't know what we're frustrated with, and they're not going to do anything. If it's like they'll take. It seems to me they'll do anything that they can get away with. Is been my experience with what they do. So
yeah.
We're going to talk about top 10 bad moments or annoying things that happened in Galaxy Heroes last year. They're in no particular order, but we're going to start off with number 1 with Grievous. Let's just say it this way. Right now, Grievous is amazing. Grievous is everything he was meant to be. But
top 3 character in the game.
Yes.
At least top 3, I think.
Okay, but at the beginning of the year, they gave us a half rework, and then they gave us a full rework. So there was 2 reworks of Grievous last year, and it just seems so, it was almost like they were like jabbing us, like, oh, it's not a good enough rework. We were telling him this is not that great of a rework. Like, it was really frustrating. And then
it was okay.
Yeah.
Like, he was at least usable after that rework, but yeah, they were holding back. And I think maybe what their thinking was they knew that relics were on the horizon, Gear 13 was on the horizon, and they knew how OP he was going to get at that point. But the problem is we didn't know that. And so I think that they should have just waited to roll it out until that moment, because then he just would have been, it would have packed a pretty serious punch. But instead, it was frustrating for a lot of people who are Grievous enthusiasts.
And then I like these new animations too, by the way. Like, he's coughing and stuff. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so
that's good.
And then, so even though we're complaining, this is the best game I've played. I played it every day for 4 years. But it's just some of the stuff they did last year is super annoying. And I just want to bring out the top 10 things. Now, next on the list, and we're just going to go through them in order here.
Let's go.
Darth Revan. So Darth Revan
Nothing was annoying about Darth Revan. Come on.
Oh, come on. No, okay, so Darth Revan. So this is what happened with Darth Revan. Why he makes this, like, JKR came out, and JKR was like the best thing ever and just dominated everything.
Bananas.
And then they came out with Darth Revan. And so we were excited about Darth Revan, and I unlocked Darth Revan. And the problem with Darth Revan is then they launched and did Epic Confrontation Malik, and basically anybody that just got Darth Revan had half of a team. And I remember going hard on Darth Revan, getting him, and then not getting Malik. Well, how much time was it? A week or 2 weeks? A month? It was like a month.
It was very shortly after.
Yeah, there was a window.
It didn't take long. I think it was a couple weeks.
Yeah, where we got Darth Revan, we had all of these teams, and then Malik. And if you don't get Malik, you wasted your money on Darth Revan. That's what happened, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's, and that it immediately undermined that investment. I mean, imagine buying something new at Best Buy, and then you can't use it until you buy something else with it. Like, now that would make sense if you're told that up front, but this was not clear. I mean, it wasn't clear like that, especially because of the way Jedi Revan rolled out. So yeah, it was misleading, and I think unfair to the player base.
So Darth Revan with Malik was and is as strong as Jedi Revan was, but Revan alone was half of a character basically, and it was kind of frustrating. So it was like they tricked us into getting, spending a little, so you had to go all out on Malik. Not a fan. Next, we have to talk about just relics in general. So this is a 7 relic Kenobi behind us, and
jealous, by the way.
Yes, and because for the capital ship and the speed, but just relics in general. Now, my problem with relics is that it wasn't gear 14; it was gear 20. It was expensive. It was
gear 20.
Yeah, it was gear 20, and it was also immediately after gear 13. It was like really, like, it seemed like we were getting so much progression back to back. I mean, I don't mind relics that much anymore, but it was really frustrating at the time, and it was really expensive. What do you think about relics?
I love what you just said is how I feel. I don't mind them as much anymore.
Right.
I think the biggest problem with relics was the timing, because I think there's a really positive spin to relics, and that's that it gives a chance for other characters to shine that haven't shined otherwise. Like, I think Anakin is a great example of that. Jedi Anakin is one of the best possible relic investments. And
Right.
before that, he was just an okay character, even with his rework. So to me, it was right after Gear 13. It just was a kick in the nuts. It was a kick in the nuts soon after Gear 13. If they would have waited 6 months, a year or so to release relics, I think it would have been easier to swallow, but the timing made it very, very frustrating. So I'm still salty about relics, even though, if I'm honest, there's a lot of positives to glean from them now.
Yeah, and I feel the same way, is that they did shake up Grand Arena quite a bit. Teams that worked before did not work, and it's like, oh, I can focus on a handful of relics and be efficient, and matchups. It really shake. So there is some good and bad to it. It was just, I think the timing and the expense was really frustrating. Let's go to the next one. And the next one on this list, and this is coupled with another gripe with Palpatine, which I don't know if he's going to be right here, but Malik came out and Malik could be beaten, and so they just nerfed characters. Just like no testing, no planning, just nerfed. Specifically, his unique right here, it was added to have the Galactic Republic tag, so that Anakin couldn't just blow up basically Malik teams. And, it's just like they nerfed things after the fact just to make it work. I mean, what do you think about that? It just seems like a poor way of and it was also a big stick to the people that didn't get Malik. It's like, oh, you guys were smart and came up with a counter. No counter for you.
That's what I hate about it, is not just that it is kind of a slap in the face to the theory crafters who came up with something and found something that works, but also I think there's a byproduct of the way that they're handling this. Is it's kind of lazy, where it's just, all right, now he has to work with his faction. You can't take him out of the faction if he's going to do all of this. And that is a severe limit to theory crafting in general in the game. And now we've done this to Anakin, we've done it to Hux, and I think we've done it to other characters that I'm not remembering right now. It's just seeing that, to me, it undermines the integrity of the game. Yeah, it makes it less exciting to be able to go out and theory craft. It's hard to theory craft.
Nerfs after the fact, after the community comes up with a counter, it's just like, oh man, not a great thing. Anakin was the recipient
middle finger
of that.
To the community,
and it's actually very balanced today. And it's not that the nerf didn't need to be done, and I don't mind it today, but it's just like, man, just test your stuff, and try to anticipate some of this stuff in advance. General Anakin Skywalker being pretty much useless at 5 and 6 stars was, I think what we're getting at is, and we're going to bring this up on the list, epic confrontation and the get currency. Malik was a viable character at 5 stars, where General Anakin Skywalker,
pre-relics when he came out.
Yeah, I have not got any use out of him, and he's already come around the second time. I imagine there's people that waited and got him the second time around and had the currency that have a 7-star Skywalker before I do. It's just that simple. And it's just like
the words that you said that shook me, and I don't even have gas, right? But what you said, it shook me and just stuck with me, is that you had a $700 shell of a character.
Right. Because not only was he not useful, he's only useful at 7 stars. He's not useful without the 4 Zetas. Plus, I need how many? $100 worth of Cryotechs, or however you say. I still can't say that name right. Cryotechs. I don't know.
Cryotech is how it should be said, because they make you cry a lot.
Yeah.
And it's technically Kyrotex.
But anyways, $750 shell of a character. Again, frustrating marketing. The smart move would have been for me is to just not play in the vent the first time around and hoard the currency. So that was
second time.
Definitely not a good thing. Next on the list is Palpatine, and Palpatine's on the list because Palpatine was a nerf. Yeah. Malik came out and did not have the tag where it says Sith cannot gain bonus turn meter. Basically, they added that text just to counter Palpatine lead, because Palpatine lead could beat Malik, right? And it was a better lead than Darth Revan. And it was like, nope, Darth Revan's going to be better just because we didn't test it, and we're going to nerf it after the fact. And I don't know how I would feel if I got Malik the first time around and Palpatine could beat it, but still, it's like, can you test this stuff first, please?
Well, it ended up being worse too, because a lot of people wanted to use Sith assassin.
Yes.
With this Malik team.
They refunded the Sith assassin. At least they refunded the Sith assassin, and then they initially weren't going to.
Yeah, it also affected Sith assassin, so they immediately nerfed a character that a lot of people, and they limited the theory crafting because you were going to have options before of using Sith Assassin. You had that turn meter gain, but Malik nerfed his own team.
Yeah.
Also, it nerfed Palpatine, so you couldn't use him in there. And then so it's basically just, what are you going to use? Are you going to use Sith Trooper and Marauder? That's it.
Right. Next is just Malik in general, right? I mean, I don't know. Epic confrontation. Do we have to talk about this?
Two angles to talk about this. Two angles that we need to talk about. Number one is the event itself when it launched, and number two is the shard fiasco.
Right? Oh, yeah. There's so many things. Okay, so Malik's is viable at 5 stars. He was... if you got Darth Revan and you didn't get Malik, you had half of a character. You know what I mean? It was a 3-day event, and I happened to be out of town those 3 days, which was a fluke. Really, it was a fluke. And
you told me about that.
Yeah, I was at Coachella. It happened to run the same Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We had like 2 days notice. The event was hard. People had to wail. A lot of people had already unlocked Darth Revan. They weren't able to get Malik. They basically had half of a team. And then he was probably the single strongest character in the game, period, hands down, right? I mean, as far as like, I mean, how many
he was at that time? Yeah.
As far as a single character, he is, standalone character, best character in the game. I don't even know if you could say that about Gas. I mean, Malik,
not standalone.
No.
I think if you're looking at Malik, if you're talking standalone, you might be able to make a case for Grievous.
Okay, fine.
But I don't know if standalone. It's debatable. But anyway, point remains. This was a big issue if you didn't get him, and the time difference was terrible, or the notice was terrible. The requirements were difficult. The event itself was hard. I actually really liked the event itself. I think it was pretty fun to play through, but they didn't give very much time for it.
Yeah.
It was the most deliberate, obscene cash grab I think the game had seen at that point.
Opposite part of that, the most obscene cash grab was JKR. The game definitely took a change after JKR with just like
the reason I picked Malik over JKR though is because of the notice. Like Revan, you had more notice, you had a longer period. This was like
2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
Done by Monday.
Yep.
Goodbye.
It was a 2 day notice.
So to me, it was like, you got to go now.
And it's like, if you weren't ready, you weren't ready. And I'm sure people were able to predict what it was. But then if you didn't have the get currency saved up and then you started investing into Malik. So right now I'm at 15 out of 100 stars, 6 stars. I had to stop upgrading him basically because of gas. And so the get currency. So this is the whole get currency tied in with a 5-star unlock was definitely on this list. Horrible thing. Next, Hux. So we're not going to talk about this for a long time, but basically,
same thing.
The same thing as Palpatine and General Anakin. They were nerfed to preserve Malik. Hux was nerfed to preserve Gas, General Anakin Skywalker. Just that they had made his leadership and his unique ability tied to being in his First Order faction, so they just nerfed it after the fact.
And what's funny about this one too with Hux, real quick, before we go to the next one, is that he was in a Malik team. He was in a Darth Revan Malik team working. He was in Sith Empire. So it was like, this was still a pretty high team, and they just still, we don't intend for him to work there.
Right. So we have 2 more things that we're going to talk about. And first one that we're going to talk about is this Twitter post right here by lead producer at the time, Carrie. It said, someone asked her, do you guys expect people to pay $4,000 to $5,000 to catch up? Matt basically asked her, said, hey, I spend $1,000 a year. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
I spend $1,000 a year in this game. Do you want me to spend $4,000 to $5,000 to keep up? And the lead producer said, yes. Yes. I mean, it's so weird. It's just like, oh my God. It's just like, yes. Expect, I say to some degree, want, not for everybody who's unpalatable, but I was wanting for people the tip of the spear to get him, and for most of the next wave of people to get him when it comes to the next round. So it's like, wow. And it was just like, how did this tweet make you feel when you first saw it?
Honestly, I was shocked that she said it.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first reaction was, damn, she said that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I can't believe she said that. And part of me thought, well, I found it a little bit refreshing that Carrie was being so candid about it. But then also the fact that she was comfortable to just throw out figures like that really just kind of made me feel like, man, there is no amount of money I can invest in this game within my means that would ever make a dent in what their plans are.
Right.
And so it made me feel like, just why try? This is part of what led to me pledging to no longer spend on the game.
Right. It's just definitely not a good moment for the year. And we're coming up on the last one.
Ooh, I like this one.
Okay, so actually it's a part of the giveaway as well, right? I really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you'll be getting for free in your account an 8-star.
Wait for it.
What is that?
Wait for it.
That's our new content that we've been getting in this game.
Oh, it's nothing!
It's nothing!
Absolutely nothing!
There's been basically very little to no new content compared to progression systems and paywalls. I mean, it's just like, we have nothing new this year. If we have anything, I mean, basically,
just reskinned crap.
We got nothing this year. Now, I want to give them a little bit of credit. The refining and reskinning of Grand Arena into Grand Arena Championship was amazing.
It was
right?
good.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah, Grand Arena Championships is better than the old Grand Arena.
Yeah, for sure. And territory battles, I mean, I'm glad that we got it, but it's still kind of like, it's the same thing as before. So no new raids. We just get progression. They're going to sneak in 6-dot purple mods here shortly. I'm sure of it. I mean, it's around the corner. And then, they're going to add the once you have a 7 relic, you can get an extra Zeta, whatever they're going to call that. There's, super duper relic abilities. I mean, it's all that stuff is coming, and you can see that by the tuning of the most recent light side territory battles. I mean, it's just tuned out of its mind, right? It's just like, what's the point? I mean, they're waiting for, like exponential power creep, deflation of your existing roster that you've spent money on is going to go down the toilet unless you spend more money, is basically what's going to happen.
MobileGamer, here's to 2020 bringing us new original content. We deserve it. I really hope we get some this year. I think we will.
I hate to say this, but I like Grand Arena so much, I don't know if I care that much. I like Grand Arena. It's funny to say that. I can't believe it. And like, if I didn't like Grand Arena, I don't know.
CG, don't watch this video.
I don't know. Like, I really, really like.
I'll put it this way. What you said resonates with me, because Grand Arena is enough for me to play this game.
Yes.
That's enough for me to be invested in this game. I love that game mode so much. I still think we need more stuff, though. You told me before this video that your girl got us a head reveal picture. Are you going to show that to us today? Dang it!
Okay, so everybody's been
asking. I won't get my head reveal.
Exclusive head reveal picture. This was an exclusive photo, a candid photo taken, and we're going to do it right here. And as always, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.